Hi, I'm Ivory LaNoue, and today's topic is increasing your financial flow. Before I jump into that, I want to say hello to my listeners in Belgrade, Serbia. I had the great pleasure of visiting your beautiful area in the mid 2000s, and it was fascinating. I remember it vividly, and everyone was so hospitable. It was lovely. So thank you for tuning in and supporting the show in this way. I want to talk about this topic because it's been coming up ever increasingly in sessions, and that always tells me I need to do a podcast on it. So I've said before that everything is energy, and just so you know, that includes money. And that's why having your energy be one that attracts abundance is so important. And because it's certainly possible to repel abundance, and we don't want to do that. So let's talk about mental sabotage. As many of you know, my background is in the field of mental health. And so I always think about the mental issues that are going on behind the scenes that are really the reason why a person doesn't have abundance in this instance. It's because we talk to ourselves all day long. You know, some people call it that monkey mind, that you just can't shut down those rolling thoughts in your head. And I heard somebody else call it an internal roommate. I like that too. Most of the time we let that roommate just babble on without paying much attention to what it's saying. But the first step in rewriting your financial money story is to become conscious of what that inner roommate is telling you about money. Does it ever whisper any of the following thoughts to you? You don't have enough money. You'll never be able to afford that. Wanting money is greedy. You don't need money because you are spiritual. You're not good with money. The more you give away, the less you have for yourself. The only way to earn money is through hard work and sacrifice. Dealing with money is such a hassle. You need to get to a point where you don't have to worry about money. And as you notice repetitive ideas, just write them down. Don't concern yourself with changing your thoughts at that point. Just simply create awareness of what you're thinking. And one thing I think is really important is to consider completely removing the word broke from your vocabulary. Don't say it, don't think about it, don't see yourself that way. Instead, ask yourself questions like, how can I afford that? Is this a priority for me? Is this how I choose to circulate my money? What about investment over debt? So this is before you spend money on things that are not absolute necessities. I like to run through this list. I don't do this one word for word, but the same gist, the gist of the questions in my mind, like in a year from now, will this thing I buy be important to me? What will make me feel better? Saving this money, donating this money, or spending this money? And those are questions you can ask yourself. So after some active listening to what you're currently telling yourself, I encourage you to shift what you think, what you say, and how you feel about money. And of course, the language you're using around it, but it goes a lot deeper than that. So bear with me. We create through our words. We create through our thoughts. That's manifesting. What you are creating when you see debt as a looming weight, you are creating like this wall that's hard for yourself to get around. So you can get realigned and start to see it as an investment in yourself, a commitment to yourself to treat money carefully and to let it flow in easily. So what if every time you put 100 or 500 or 10,000, that's a lot of money, toward debt, you told yourself about how amazing that experience is? One of the ways I save money is through a phone app where it pulls money from your bank account, like it pulls twice a month from my bank account and puts it in specific savings that I set up. And I never even see the money. It's painless. The account's moving upward in value. So that's one way that I invest in myself and in my future. What if you just allow yourself to feel the joy of saving anything, or even choosing not to spend your money on something? What if you felt like your hard work was actively paying off, and that you chose to pay something off over time that really supports you? So maybe instead of buying extraneous items, you pay your car off early, whatever you want to do. That's just an example. I'm not a money manager. I do not recommend it. I'm just using it as example. Have those kind of conversations with yourself. Just start changing the way you think about money and also paying more attention to what you do with your money. So I would consider shifting the word budget to abundance overview. Check in with yourself about how you feel when you say and do certain things, and allow the experience to be one that's positive and opening and uplifting. And that's partly how your relationship with money and your mindset around it will change. Through this change, you will see a shift in your experience. And because we're all constantly creating our reality from our thoughts, words, and feelings, your abundance will increase. And I know this because I did this for myself. I'm teaching you this from things I learned the hard way over decades. I lived paycheck to paycheck for so many years, most of my adult life. I also wasn't concerned about money. I cared more about helping people. I worked with primarily low income and homeless population, which never pays a lot of money, but it was incredibly rewarding. And then later I realized I need to get a little serious about having money for my future, having some savings, having a retirement fund of some sort. I don't need to be wealthy, but I want to have that abundance. So these are things I worked on and found out were worthwhile doing. One thing we really need to talk about, I feel free talking about this. I know not everyone listening is a woman, but most of my listeners are women. So just understand all the goodness that comes from opening that second chakra: fertility, creativity, femininity, receiving. As women, I'm just for a moment talking to you women out there, we have such a deep connection to our second chakra. And I found that working with clients and chakras, opening, clearing them, that when we as women close down our channels of receiving in one way, we start the block of flow in so many other ways. So our ability to magnetize abundance to us, to call it in, to open up and receive it, is huge, but we need to make sure we keep that chakra open. We all have access to the masculine aspect as well, the push, the hustle, the make it happen mentality. However, when we sit back, when we release our holds, I found we can be far more successful, typically with way less effort. Who doesn't want that? It's the natural state of the divine feminine to be the chalice, to receive, to overflow, and then transmute those things that we receive into something so much more. So when I first started to process that and started to shift my own mindset around money in this way, through connecting money with the second chakra, not just my first: foundation, home, stability, food, water, I became way more successful with calling money in. I started allowing money to stay in my energetic field, seeing it as a resource for me to do great things with, and a lot more too. A lot of us have grown up with money being a necessary evil of sorts. We enjoy it. We might feel bad about it. It's heavy. We wish we could avoid it, but we understand that we need it for survival. This is a belief that is plugged into your root chakra, the area of your base needs. So you can start to plug money into other chakras: the second chakra, which is the sacral chakra, the fourth chakra, which is the heart chakra, and even the sixth, the third eye. This work has really allowed me to open myself to a new way of understanding and relating to money, abundance, wealth, and prosperity, to truly accept money as a resource that supports my life. When I take money and plug it into my second chakra, the sacral chakra, I start to work with money as an open channel, something that flows to me, something I can connect to my creativity, my ability to call in things, and it resonates as one of the many things that I'm willing and open to receiving, instead of being limited by my past ideas of how money can flow into my life. For instance, many of us think work, our jobs, and our careers are the only channels where we can receive money, and that is just not true. There's so many ways that abundance can flow into your life, but our preoccupation with how it will happen tends to block us from being truly open. And later, when I talk about interacting with angels, like requesting assistance from your angels for financial flow, I'll talk about that more. Here is one practice that you can do to start changing your own approach to money and your energy around it. Sit with your eyes closed for 3 minutes, becoming consciously aware of your breath. Continue your focus on your breath for another 3 minutes. Now start to interact with your breath, drawing the breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Keep the same count as you breathe in and as you breathe out. If you breathe in for 4 counts, you also breathe out for 4 counts. Now draw that breath and the energy that follows that focus into your second chakra, the sacral. Place your hands on that chakra located in your lower abdomen, just below the belly button. Feel the oxygen drawing into your second chakra and feel it being pushed out of your second chakra. Next, envision with feeling and vivid imagery all the things that you are open to receiving during your in-breaths. This could be a new relationship, creativity, money, gifts, friends. This could be love, peace, calm, feminine alignment, anything you desire. Picture these things flowing into you. Feel these things flowing into you. Visualize a beautiful emerald green river. See this as the flow of abundance. Imagine yourself mentally calling out to this river to flow your way. See the river slowly turning toward you. As it gets closer, you lie down and float on your back, gently moving with the flow of abundance, not standing in it and fighting it. Now start to focus on abundance, what that means to you, the version of you who lives an abundant life, what types of companies you support, how abundance opens new doors for you, your family, for your community. Feel and see this flowing into the second chakra. Allow it to start with your breath, but allow it to expand. See different channels, paths, roadways flowing into your entire aura, into all of your chakras, pouring over you, completely enveloping you. Feel into this manifestation, the prosperity, the abundance, and let that feeling expand, grow, and take you away. This practice really focuses on the feeling, and it allows you to understand what the feeling of opening new channels is. When you start to allow yourself to feel a connection to abundance, it's no longer rooted in need, but in beautiful partnership, and you start to shift your relationship with money. So I want to talk about some unblocking questions, things that'll help you remove blocks. When you block yourself from receiving in any way, you start to block yourself from receiving in more than one way. So in what areas of your life can you start to receive more openly, more willingly, with more grace and ease? Here are a few ideas for you to consider. When someone offers to hold the door for you, do you allow them? When someone offers to put your bag in the overhead bin, do you say you can do it yourself? When someone allows you to step in front of them in line, do you say thank you and accept? When you are offered an upgrade, sample, discount, do you graciously accept that offer? When a coworker offers support on a project or task, do you welcome their help? When a friend offers to put your drink on their tab, do you say thank you and welcome that? We often block our own channels of receiving because receiving can be difficult for us. But as we start to focus on allowing, being open, and being grateful, we call more of these beautiful occurrences into our lives. When the channels for other means of receiving are open and highly traveled pathways, the channels for abundance will follow suit. So I want to check in with you. Do you feel worthy of receiving? This is a great place to start with your inner work. If you are reading the many suggestions around receiving, you're feeling tension, stress, or anxiety, continue to focus on finding any of your beliefs around money that don't support you, and then let's reprogram those. Focus on the language you think and use. Last, but certainly not least, really start to expand your abundance practices. Start to open your mind and new channels for receiving. How do you create an abundance mindset? Let's jump into that because it's important. There are 10 ways you can do that in your life today. Number one, see the power of your thoughts. Cultivating mindfulness can help decipher when your thoughts are creating that scarcity of abundance. By taking time to notice what type of thoughts are in your head, you can begin to make a conscious effort to shift those thoughts towards abundance. So here's an action you can take. If you find you're getting less than amazing results in any area of life, ask yourself, are my thoughts about this based in fear and scarcity? If so, then ask yourself, what do I need to do to shift my mindset to abundance? Write them down or share them with a friend for accountability. 2, practice gratitude. Practicing gratitude is one of the most powerful and widely recognized tools for creating abundance and happiness. There are numerous studies on the power of gratitude on well-being. According to Oprah Winfrey, if you look at what you have in life, you will always have more. If you look at what you don't have in life, you will never have enough. I truly believe that. In the same kind of thought, Tony Robbins quoted, when you are grateful, fear disappears and abundance appears. So what is the action you can do in this case? You keep a gratitude journal. Write down what you are genuinely grateful for each day. Aim to record at least 10 items. Some might be the same every day and some could be different. It really doesn't matter what the items are, just identifying 10 things. If you get stuck, remember to list the simple things that can often get overlooked in a society like here in the US, such as having a bed to sleep on, a roof over your head, food to eat, clothes to wear, a car to drive, family, friends, the clean air you breathe, being able to take a shower, just the chance to live another day. So that's 7 right there. 3, believe there is no limit for you. The enemy of abundance is a contracted awareness. So there was a fun Harvard study that found when people focus intently on one thing, other possibilities right in front of them can go completely unnoticed. It's vital that you loosen your mind's focus and create an expanded awareness that fosters abundance mentality. So here's an action you can take with that. Maintain a regular meditation practice or take a few minutes each day to be somewhere quiet and peaceful. Have the intention to clear your mind and allow new abundant possibilities to come to light. Number 4, cultivate and share your passions and pursuits. Understanding and creating confidence in the things that you're great at and love to do is an excellent way to foster belief in yourself. Learn how to share your gifts and provide value by serving those who will benefit most. Confidently share what you do through a personal brand presence online or in person. Write a book, give classes, write a blog, help with a group. An action, download, there's a free checklist that you can get online. If you want it, let me know. Take you the exact steps for creating that abundant personal brand. But take consistent action on the steps you take the steps you take to share your unique value with the world. There is no value in knowing you have a spiritual gift and keeping it to yourself, in knowing that you have a other kind of gift, a passion, and you're not sharing it with other people. So the next thing, number 5, develop mastery experiences. The best way that you can do this is to consciously create experiences that are past experiences, success, that create mastery in one area. So for example, if you get a little bit better at something every day, know that a year from now, you're going to be so much better than where you are now. So think of a big goal you want to achieve. Write a list of all the small actions you need to take to get there, which, by the way, is how I help my clients and students achieve their goals. I too can get bogged down in the big picture, but if you focus on like, what's the next step? This is what I have to do next. You do that. What's the next step? You do that. You get there and you don't get frozen. So you focus on those and soon you've successfully reached your goal. It works. 6, choose your words wisely. I think that is a valuable thing to do in all areas of life, not just in the area of abundance. The language you use, as well as what you tell yourself and other people, shapes your reality. Are you telling stories of scarcity or stories of abundance? I shared with you that I used to live hand to mouth, but I haven't mentioned that for a very long time to myself or anybody else because I am committed to staying in the flow of abundance. So an action is when you are in conversation with someone and just notice what you're saying about your experiences and your beliefs. When you find yourself talking about something you can't have, can't afford, can't do, even though it's what you desire, allergies, sorry, stop yourself and have the courage to say, thank you for listening to me, but I actually want to take that statement back because that is scarcity mentality and I am creating abundance mentality. Then say something that is possible from an abundance mentality. 7, build beyond a growth mindset. The concept of a growth mindset was developed by a psychologist, Carol Dweck, and popularized in her book, Mindset, The New Psychology of Success. She writes, in a growth mindset, people believe that their most basic abilities can be developed through dedication and hard work. Brains and talent are just the starting point. This view creates a love of learning and a resilience that is essential for great accomplishment. So a growth mindset is directly related to an abundance mindset. What can you do with this? Become curious about other people and their experiences. Have an intention to ask someone every day about their life, what their goals are, how they plan to achieve them. Practice simply listening to their answers and learning from what they have to say instead of thinking about what you're going to say, talking about your life, or offering your own advice. Then reflect on your own beliefs about your ability and the abilities of those around you to change and grow. 8, think like a newbie. The abundance mentality craves learning and growth, requiring an underlying knowledge that you don't know everything, even about topics you may think you've mastered. The beginner's mindset is about having the ability to maintain openness and enthusiasm, along with having the willingness to override pre-existing misconceptions, just as a true beginner would do, no matter how learned or experienced you may be. So here's something you can try with that. Decide to learn something new that places you into an uncomfortable state of not knowing. It may be learning a new hobby, language, or even starting a passion project. Anything that sounds interesting and forces you to learn. I tend to do this through musical instruments. I was telling someone the other day about learning to play violin when I was my late 30s, early 40s, and I would go in with my violin and 9, 10-year-old students are coming out with theirs and they'd look up at me and they'd be like, are you a student? And I would laugh, but actually I loved it. It was really good for me on every level. And occasionally I learned to play a new musical instrument. Number 9, notice the good. Humans tend to notice what's bad more easily than they do what's good. It's not your fault. Your brain is wired that way thanks to evolution. Ancestors who were quick to see threats were more likely to survive and pass along their DNA than those who weren't. And optimists rely on an abundance mindset and lead better, longer lives here in the modern world. So what can you do? The next time you have a perceived problem or something doesn't seem to be going right for you, look at the problem from a larger, more holistic perspective. I like to get into observer mode. I recommend it. Instead of focusing on what is going wrong and trying to fix the problem, focus on what is going right as it relates to the topic and brainstorm ways to support that even further. You know that thing of like, things work out the way they're meant to, divine timing, and God knows better than we do. I mean, there's so many, oh my goodness, so many times in my life that I was headed in one way, taking a certain path, and I was like lifted and put on this one and got exactly where I needed to be. I'm sure it's happening to you as well. Number 10, say a daily abundance affirmations. Research from Carnegie Mellon University suggests that the use of positive affirmations can improve your problem-solving skills and decrease signs of stress. Using affirmations can help you shift your mentality from scarcity to abundance. What can you do? Make a list of any fears you are having in regard to a particular problem or about life in general that could be coming from a scarcity mentality. That can be, some people fear not having enough food, not having a home to live in, not having friends, not having love, romantic love in their life. That can all fall under scarcity thinking. So then write down the opposite of what your fears are, what you deeply desire. Use that second list of deep desires as your own personal list of daily affirmations. While it may not be completely natural at first, anyone can begin to create an abundance mindset and live a meaningful and fulfilling life by just taking consistent action. As you expand your awareness and notice any scarcity mentality that could continue to arise, use these action steps to tap into your own depth of abundance. So I told you I'd talk about asking your angels for abundance. This is something that's been incredibly helpful for me. It really was the turning point from living paycheck to paycheck, which is no longer a thing in the past. It's all in the past for me. And now I do feel like absolutely firmly in the flow of abundance. So I want you to ask your angels for the amount of money you need and the date you need it by. Do not specify how this money will come to you, who it's coming from. Leave it up to them. There's so many paths they can take, so many ways they can make this happen. You can't imagine. You specifying how it happens puts limits on your angels. Trust that your angels heard you and they will assist. Keep your energy relaxed and open. You can do simple breathing exercises. One of my favorites I learned when I worked at a psychiatric hospital, calm down people who were very highly escalated, and I use it to calm myself and other people as needed. They don't have to be a mental health patient or having a breakdown, but you just sit still. You take a breath in through your nose, hold it 2 seconds, and then release it through your mouth in a long, slow hiss. Keep that flow going, push it, push it, push it, push it till there's absolutely nothing left in your lungs, and then take another one. Do that 10 times. It forces your body to relax. Ooh. Then you redirect your worrisome thoughts into statements of trust. I trust my angels are watching over me. I trust that God and my angels have my back. I trust they will never drop me. They're not going to drop the ball on me. I'm doing what they ask me to do. I'm doing good things. They're going to help me. If you need ongoing financial flow, which many of us do, every time you worry about money or think about what you owe, what you can't do, say this out loud. Angels, thank you for giving me plenty of money to easily pay my bills in full and on time, to save money and have some fun. I was given that by my angels, and it was in the midst of scarcity thinking. Trust me, I was in such a bad place on all levels. And I said this and I was thinking, but that's not true. But I said it anyway because I trust them and I needed help. I asked for help and this is what they told me to do. Immediately, like that was a turning point. And I kept saying it every time I'd worry about money. I would say this. The other thing, you got to let go of the worries then, relax into trust in God and your angels and divine timing. But if you cannot seem to shake your worry, do this. Visualize your worries wrapped up in a neat little package and see yourself handing that package over to your angels. Now it's no longer your worry or weight to carry. They will carry it for you. My angels told me to do that. And it's another thing that I literally felt that weight, that energetic weight go out of my energetic field. And I felt like this huge relief. So consider clearing your energy and surrounding energy, like your home or office. All of us can use an energy cleansing of our bodies at least once a week and more depending on the work you do. If you're working with a lot of people, if you're a counselor, therapist, working in a hectic environment like an emergency room, you do mediumship, you do spirituality or healing work. you're going to need it more often. And it can be done with burning sage, Palo Santo, or with specific essential oils. And on my website, ivoryangelicmedium.com, in my blog, there's actually a post about how to clear with essential oils with the specific ones I would recommend you use. Consider getting an ionic detox foot bath that pulls toxins from your body and allows your energy to be as clear as possible. It's very hard to go with the flow of abundance if your energy is really toxic. If you can't get that foot bath, then just take a bath with a cup of Epsom salts and a few drops of lavender essential oil. Like to add a chunk of Himalayan salt to that too. If you recently moved into a new home or office, clear that space as soon as possible, hopefully before moving in. Otherwise, you'll be dealing with the residual energy of those who lived or worked there previously. And if they were angry, anxious, then it can affect your attraction of abundance. If they were stuck in scarcity, you could feel that. If there's been a lot of discord in your home or office, clear the space. That discordant energy is not conducive to financial flow. And you want to do everything you can to get that flow going. So in closing, I trust that this information has made you aware of how you might have been pushing abundance away. Now you have some tools to use as you step into the flow of abundance. If you're interested, I'm going to be posting right after this some powerful affirmations on my Patreon page that are designed to help you attract financial flow, and you can use them or adapt them for your own use. I'm giving away free 1-week memberships on my Patreon page now, so take advantage of this to see the exclusive content posted there, take classes, and more. You can enter the Angel Room into a search on patreon.com to find that. Tune in next Sunday when my topic is getting true guidance. I look forward to sharing that with you. In the meantime, may your angels surround you. May your angels protect you every moment, every day of your life. I'll see you next week.